Hey, Nic Peterson here, and today I'm going to break down how to break bad habits, the mental hacks to break bad habits. And this is a little bit different than a lot of stuff out there because breaking a habit, stopping something, is a lot different than building it, right? The steps to grow grass, for example, are different than the steps to destroy grass. You don't just do the opposite. And that's where people get confused. There's a book called The Power of Habit that talks about the habit loop and how to replace it. Bad habits with good habits, identify the trigger, the cue, the reward, and all that stuff. But I'm going to give you quick, actionable, a checklist to run down to just eliminate habits today. Okay, and understand that it's not an episodic thing. Okay, it's not just breaking a habit. That's not a great term for it. It's more like unraveling, untying, undoing something complicated, almost like a Rubik's Cube, where you just want to do the next step, and each step gets you closer. Okay, so this would be the equivalent of like, I need to spend less time on my phone. Just don't check it first thing in the morning. Okay, you broke the morning habit of checking your phone. Not the entire phone checking habit, but you broke the morning habit of checking your phone. It's also the same as snacking. If you say, hey, I really have to stop snacking, that's a huge, huge task and it's going to take some work. But the mental cue that you can use is, I'm going to stop snacking. I'm going to skip that morning snack. But just because you stop that morning snacking does not mean you've alleviated all the other snacking, right? So it's not a breakage, it's just an unraveling of habits. Make that switch to better manage your expectations. Okay, because if you manage your expectations and you do this right, you're going to start making changes right away. So identify and eliminating a habit quickly. Think TED, T-E-D, TED. And this is a hierarchy of habit breaking. This isn't the 3 things you need to do, it's do this. And if you can do the T in TED, habit's gone. If not, you move on to the E, and if not, you move on to the D. Okay, and if not, you may have to try more complicated habit cycle, habit replacement stuff. Right, so this is just a checklist. Most effective, next, right? So think TED, the T being the trigger. What triggers this habit? Maybe I have no urge to smoke a cigarette, but when I go to this particular bar with these particular people, I just get the urge and I give in. Can you remove that trigger? Can you decide just not to go to the bar? Right? And for a lot of people, it's a pretty easy decision. Okay, so identify the trigger. Can you identify what is triggering this behavior? And if so, can you remove it? If you do, problem solved. Right? Not super complicated. Okay, the second one, the E in TED is ease or ability. How easy is it for you to partake in this particular habit? For example, if there are no cookies in the house, it's not easy for me to eat cookies. Like, I don't want to drive in my car or go to the store, it's cold or it's hot, drive back. So by removing the ease of partaking in the habit, you also eliminate it. Because most people don't really want cookies bad enough to go to the store. And if you do, it's not really a habit. It's just a desire you have in the moment. And you probably deserve some cookies. Right? So the E is ease. Can you make it, if it is easy to do, can you make it harder? Can you reduce your ability to accidentally fall into this habit? Okay, this is when you go to if you don't want to eat bread, or you don't want to eat the potato chip, or you don't want to eat the tortilla chips. When the waiter comes and you just say, no bread at the table, please. Now you have to say no once, and you've made it easier for the rest of the night. You changed the ease metric because you only have to say no once instead of 10 times. Same with chips at a Mexican restaurant, alcohol. If you just say, no thanks, I'm not drinking, it's over. So identify the trigger. And if you can't remove the trigger, if you still have to go out with friends, no thanks, no alcohol tonight. Okay, not one. It's really easy to have a second. Okay, remove the ease factor. And then the third one, the D of TED, is desire. How do I make myself desire this less, or desire the results of not doing this more? So mentally, it is the opposite of trying to remember something. When we want to remember something, we say, okay, I have a desire of 4 out of 10 to learn this. How do I make it a 10? Right? Like, maybe if I learn this language, girls will like me better. Ooh, now I have a desire to learn it. The opposite is true with the habit. Okay, I have a desire of 8 or 9 to eat these cookies. How do I bring that desire down to a 4 or a 3? Well, I think about what I'm going to look like in my bathing suit over the summer, and girls won't like me. Ooh, I'm not super motivated anymore. So you think about the subsequent order consequences, not these cookies were delicious, that's the first order. But how do you look into the future, weigh the consequences, and move that desire metric down from an 8 to a 6? Much, much easier to avoid a 6 than an 8. You're always going to give in to an 8. So they're super advanced methods. The power of habit, Charles Duhigg talks about cue, trigger, cue, reward, right? Or cue, action, reward, and the cycle and identifying and replacing. And that may be necessary over the long term, some cognitive behavior therapy stuff. But in the short term, right now, if you think TED, what's the trigger? Remove it. If you can't remove it, you say, what is the ease of this? Do I just do this because it's easy? A lot of times the answer is yes. And if you just make it harder, if you throw away your remote control and you know you got to get up to change the channels on the TV, you might just stop watching TV. There goes your habit. So there are these mental hacks, and then D is desire. What can I think about? What can I picture that makes me desire this less? So that it is easier to say, no, I don't want that. Okay, those are the quick habit hacks. It's a hierarchy of habit hacks that will, instead of all the stuff you see today about building new habits, it takes 21 days, 30 days, whatever, depending on what research you look at. We can literally just eliminate habits tomorrow. Morning snacking habit, gone. Morning phone habit, gone. Smoking, gone. TV, gone. Just walk through TED. Trigger, ease, desire, and then write in the comments and let me know. Let me know how this helped you. Find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, whatever, but write in the comments and say, this is the impact. It's so simple. And simple is so profound. So leave a comment below and just say, hey, I identified this trigger. It's gone. I don't even think about it anymore. I love that stuff. It's super valuable to us. So leave a comment. Let me know. Tell your friends. All that stuff. Cool.
You just got hit with some really powerful and pragmatic stuff. Don't you think? I do. And if you agree, hit the thumbs up button below and like the video. Let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see, what you want me to expand upon, and what questions you have. And remember, all of this stuff is only as powerful as the actions you take in your execution, the practical applications you can derive from it. So let's see how quickly and effectively and efficiently you can master the things to come. You're going to get information here that's going to help you on your journey that you will not find anywhere else. So